Oh shit! We got the man himself.
What's up? This is. Oh, I thought this was Flashcast.
No, wrong.
Oh, dang it!
I know, ain't it? So what's going on, John? People.
Hey, what's going on?
Some people in my chat were upset that you showed up.
They're upset that I showed up.
Yeah, some E.G. Mars says he wanted to bet you like $1,000.
Oh yeah, fight me, right? IG Mars, my favorite. IG Mars is like a like weird raging leftist anti-Comicsgate SJW person. So
it's crazy how I get all the crazies from both sides of the aisle thinking that I'm on their team. Yeah,
that's amazing. But you're on my team, so because I'm on the show.
I thought you were on my team because you're on my show.
Oh, that's fair, actually. Yeah. Well, I thought this was Flashcast, so I thought I was on Yellow Flash's team, but
no.
Yeah.
Never that. That guy's fucking nuts.
He's my good friend.
Doesn't make him any less nuts. I think that makes him more nuts, in fact. You're also good friends with a friend of the show, Saggy Melons.
Oh, my good friend Saggy Melons. Saggy Melons has me banned in her chat.
Yeah, I know.
So I don't know. All I did was say hi to Nerdette. That's it. I just said hi, Nerdette, and then I got banned. It's terrible. I'm the victim.
Extra Hero says, "Why are you here with the E.G. Mars slander?"
Oh, because he's a SJW woke retard. So
come on. We don't attack on the audience. Come on.
I do. Yeah, you had the wrong person on. Yeah,
I know, ain't it? So you're a big fan of the Ripperverse. I seen you came in, you said, "Hail Ripperverse," and all that.
That's right. Isom for life. Do I have my Isom copy right here? Let me see. Or do I have it in my short box? Let's see. Looks like it's in my short box right now. So I don't have to proudly display my allegiance, unfortunately. But yeah.
Did you get the graded copy or did you just get a standard?
I just got standard. I don't understand graded copies because like what's the point of a book if you don't read it?
I agree 100%. And we both read Isom. We both have different opinions of Isom. I think it's subpar in my opinion.
I liked it. It was good. I don't know.
I think it had potential. I think
it was no Blunder Island. I mean, this is genius, but what else can you do?
Yeah. I do think it was weird that it went from low-level street hero to, hey, now we're fighting hell demons. I thought that was kind of...
Oh, I actually don't have issue 2 yet, so I don't know.
I mean, I would link you to a
don't do that
uploaded version, but I don't support piracy, so I wouldn't do that.
I have it. It said it was coming. So let's see. Fulfillment is complete. Where was this? Your order has been shipped. Track your shipment. It says loading on the way. That's all it says. So.
As much as I would like you to be on the panel, E.G. Mars, I don't. We're not here for fights. So,
well, E.G. Mars, I believe, is a person named Liam Gray. If it's the actual E.G. Mars, I can't. Can I tell? I'm not a mod, so I can't actually look up whether it's the actual person. But and then that person keeps claiming I'm not. That's not who it is. So I don't know. I would love to have this person on the panel so I could confirm that's the case. But
okay.
Do you have a way? Do you have this person's like DMs? Like,
no, I'm just gonna put the link in the chat. He can.
In the chat. Okay.
And it'll tell me who's popping in, so I'll know who's popping.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
let's see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes. It'll be interesting.
Maybe he'll confirm he's not Liam Gray, or maybe he'll do the thing where I gave him the link, and then it wouldn't allow him to connect, and then he blamed me for it and called me a bunch of names. And then it's like, oh, okay.
We could have that too. So here's my question.
Yes.
You're obviously you're a Ripperverse supporter. You're a known entity.
Known Ripperverse supporter. Yes.
Known Ripperverse. Known CG. Why don't you have your book yet? Wow, shouldn't he have flagged that? And say, hey, shit, that's for
Oh
Jon Del
no,
Arroz.
so I actually fucked up, and I think it was the you know how the first like 3-4 days when like this website wasn't working,
Yeah.
and it was just like I was doing my order then. I thought I must have not hit confirm on my order or something like that, and so I did not the book. I didn't buy it, and I thought I did. So I it took me. I was sitting there. Everybody's like putting up their reviews, and I'm like, "Where's my book?" So I logged into the thing, and it's like, "Oh, it didn't actually.
Go
It's not
through.
in their system there." So and then I went back through my credit card bill, and I was like, "Oh, it didn't. It never charged me. This sucks." So I went and bought it like towards the end of the campaign there. So it's not his fault. It's my fault. User error.
It is user error, but I would think,
Yeah.
and again, that's just me. I would have been like, oh shit, John, didn't you order a book? Oh, let me check. Oh, let me just make sure we ship that one out to you as fast as soon as possible.
Well, I didn't like DM him about it or anything. I mean,
All right. So EG Mars, his thing has popped up, but it says device is not connected.
Faker again. Fake out again. Liam Gray. I
don't know if it's Liam or not. All I know
knew
is
it.
We had an issue with who the hell came in the other day? Someone else came in. You have to turn on your mic. You have to allow the StreamYards to let your mic work.
This is what he did to my program too, and then he pretended like I was like not brave enough to let him in. So yeah, this is a shtick, I think.
And I will take a screenshot showing that he's backstage.
Oh, I see him backstage. He said hi.
No, I'm just saying so everyone else knows, right? So that there is actual proof that it is, what I said it is. But the other thing that I want to ask you, because like I said, you are a Comicsgate, you ship books. Obviously, you've done these things.
12 full graphic novels at this point. Yeah.
So Eric July, he offered $100 foil cover, and he didn't sell. He had 5,000 copies. He only sold, what was it, 4,230, something like that. He had like 769 left over. I said that it was a mistake on his part for not offering it at the beginning of the campaign because he didn't offer it until like the middle.
Okay.
And do you agree or disagree? Do you think he should have offered it right at the beginning?
I don't know. I personally like a lot of these guys like to do these like 24-hour variants you can only get for 24 hours, or like things like that. And what it does for your campaign is like if your campaign's slowing down and all that, it gets it reinvigorated again, right?
Yeah.
So there is possibly something to do with that, and a lot of people who are successful do that. So I can't say whether like at the beginning of the campaign or not would have done better, maybe. Because maybe the people who bought the regular edition would have bought the variant instead or something like that. But I think he captured the people probably who were going to buy multiple covers, right?
Yeah, well, that's what I said. I said he probably would have gotten a couple more to buy the variant because if it was at the beginning, people were already buying 2 or 3 copies. They might be like, "Oh, fuck it, let me get one of the $100 ones," right?
Yeah,
and it wasn't like a 24-hour thing. It was literally like in the middle of the campaign, he dropped it and was like, "Hey, we got this $100 variant cover now," and he made 5,000. That was the other thing that I said. I said he probably should have just made to order.
Yeah, that's what I do. I everything I do is make to order because I don't want to sit on $100 or even or 1,000, whatever it is, right? So
VP showing Isom number 0. He's got the prequel.
That's funny. Nice. Yeah, I make to order. I don't do a lot of variant campaigns. My current campaign, I guess I can chill because I'm here.
Yeah, always.
But I'm very much like try to cater to just readers, and a lot of like the criticism of people in our circles is like, the readers are not like people aren't buying to read; they're just buying to support YouTubers and all that. But I've got 18 novels out on Amazon. The vast majority of my readers probably don't know who I am, which is great because if they did, they probably wouldn't like me. And so I'm used to that. So when I do this, like this campaign for Flying Sparks Companion, which is these are standalone superhero stories, which are totally like, if you've not read my stuff before, great place to start. But I've just got like the Flying Sparks Volume 1, Flying Sparks Companion, Complete Flying Sparks, and Complete Comic. I've got no frills, no hats, no stickers, nothing, no variant covers, just a book. And maybe I'm leaving money on the table by doing it this way. Maybe I'm just like not creating that hype or whatever. But I'd rather just have people read, like for the most part. Now for my next campaign is going to be called Top Grift. I'm going to have like 10 variant covers.
And they're going to be actual comics or?
Actual comics, yes. That's my brand. So I'm going to do that for Top Grift, where there's like 10 variant covers. But I mean, that's the title of the campaign. It's a top grift. The whole point's grifting, right? Yeah, so we do everything in my power to grift as much as possible on that campaign. But for this one, like this is Flying Sparks. This is my superhero epic. I've been trying to, this is like my like answer to Marvel and DC. And I've put out, 18 issues of this, 2 issues of Dynamite Thor, 3 issues of the Cosmic. So I've got 23 issues of comics out for my superhero universe. That's quite a bit. And so, I'm the real competitor here who's actually like putting these stories together, trying to build these universes. And I'd love to do a team book of all my characters at some point and, really just build things up like Stan Lee was doing back in the 60s. And you do that through the actual stories. And they didn't have variant covers and all that shit back then. They just had books. So
what would be the elevator pitch? Elevator pitch for this character. Why would I be interested in this character to buy your comic?
So I created a character that's like in the vein of like the Superman, Batman universe, like the families there, where you have like, you've got Batman, Batgirl, Robin. You've got these like cast of characters around that like you get to know them and they have relationships that like develop. And that was the beauty of those characters. And it's a lot of fun. And the problem that Marvel and DC have with this is like they're not allowed to actually develop their characters because they're IPs that have to stay the same to some degree for the movies, right? And so I actually got mad because they keep on erasing continuity and keep on just like, they really treat us fans like we're stupid. It's like, oh, here's a magic event. Magically, like none of the last 10 years happened. And we're going to start over with an all new number 1. And I hate that. So I wanted to create characters that actually develop, that actually have relationships that build and actually progress in what they're doing. Like at the beginning of Flying Sparks, for example, Metagirl here is really bad at fighting. She just gets her ass kicked because she's got some like devices and can fly and shit. Like why does that make her like an expert fighter? It doesn't, right?
Yeah, she's a woman.
To learn to do it, right? And so she has to like learn how to do it and like learn to like play to her skills and not try to just go out there like brute force. I also hate watching those things where these like 100-pound women just kick the shit out of like these like hardened military dudes. It drives me crazy too. So I make sure that like she's a feminine female lead, not a like strong female lead. And that's the deal. So this is it right here. Like I said, great place to start. There's a Meta Man character. And he's got his own full length story in this also. So you get to kind of learn about him and like how he's related to her. And he's your patriotic, like Superman, that's like unabashed truth, justice, and the American way type of person, which is what we're lacking out of Marvel and DC again. And you get to learn her origin, and then you get to watch her fight like a giant tentacle monster because I thought that was funny.
Dorian says, what's the name of your channel?
Jon Del Arroz. I because I call myself JDA. I'll change my name so you can see it. Jon Del Arroz. Please check this out. It's on Fund My Comic. So I went on Fund My Comic because, all these guys keep complaining about like, oh, Indiegogo's shadow banning us and Kickstarter's woke. And I'm like, okay, well, this guy is a Christian conservative who's running this website, and I will come over here. Now, immediately, I'll tell you that going on this website versus going on like a Kickstarter where there's just natural foot traffic is getting me like a fifth of my backers. So, alternatives are great, but I'm kind of the attitude, like go where the foot traffic is until they ban you.
Go where the customers
right now, that's where the customers are, right? But so right now I'm trying to force the customers to come onto this website, which I do want to support this website. So I'm happy to do so. But it is like at my own business detriment to do so. And, it is going to have to be how it is for the most part on these campaigns in the future. But I do want to highlight this website. And part of like my putting this up here is just to highlight this website because the guy who's running this is a good guy. And I do want to support him.
Finbar wants to know, when are you going to have a crossover battle with the Ripperverse?
Whenever July tells me to, because that'll make me a shit ton of money. Right?
So, would you ever, if Eric July came to you and said, "Hey, I want to take your comic books and put them under my Ripperverse banner," right? You're still writing them, you're still doing everything, but they're going to be published by the Ripperverse. Would you be down for that?
Oh yeah, I would love to not have to do all the formatting and the publishing and then the fulfillment and all that shit. I would love to just sit here and write. I mean, I wrote 2 comic scripts this week. So, and that's that, and I have to pack and ship all these books myself. I'm doing it. I'm straight from the underground here. But I'd much rather just write and not deal with that. That'd be amazing. Yeah.
And, how come he hasn't tapped you to write one of his comics, one of his new characters?
Well, if you look, he's tapped some pretty big, high-profile people. The sisters he got have their own giant Instagram following.
Yeah,
Chuck Dixon's like a legend in the industry, so I would tap them first too. I mean, it just makes more sense on a business level. What am I going to bring him a big audience? Probably not. Whereas those names give him, like Chuck Dixon gives him big credibility, and those girls probably bring him a different audience who wouldn't be checking it out otherwise also. So he's making good business decisions on that front, but I would love to in the future. It'd be if he ends up getting like a full on publishing umbrella that's full bore. Yeah, I'd be in on that for sure.
Are there any characters, because you haven't read the second book, so you don't know all the characters that have been introduced?
No.
But out of the characters that you've seen, obviously Alpha Core's going to be written by Chuck Dixon, Yaira's being written by the Soskas. But out of the other characters that are left, we got Norfolka, Isom itself, those 2 strange, what are they, like magical people. Anyone there that you're like, hey, I would be interested in writing this character?
I mean, I think Yairo was the one that was the most interesting to me looking in general. So I'd probably choose that, even though that's taken per se. So
I really look forward to what you're going to say about book 2, because like I said, for me, there was potential in book 1, and then book 2 took such a hard left turn that I was like, it was just a completely different genre of comic, right? You have your street level heroes, you have your mystical heroes. Like this went from one to the other, and I think it was a bad transition, in my opinion.
Interesting. I could see that. And of course, with a series like this, when book 1 wasn't a complete story, and I'm being more careful about that these days, because Flying Sparks book 1 was not a complete story. I mean, it had 3 issues in it, and each one of them had kind of their beginnings and all that. But I really left a cliffhanger at the end of 3, issue 3, which is the end of volume 1. And I'm much more careful about just like putting a complete story that feels like it's done into a volume now. Because if Isom 1 finished and you had that whole street entanglement, it was done, and then he gets into some cosmic whatever, I don't know what issue 2 is about, but say it's a cosmic whatever, right? And it's a separate story, you'd feel a little better about that, I think, Yeah. And so the complete story is very important to me now. Like I didn't know what I was doing with Flying Sparks 1. I mean, that was my first book I wrote, but when I got to 2, I really knew what I was doing. And by the time I get to like 4 and 5, I really, really know what I'm doing. Right. And so that experience does help across the board. And you do got to set things up at a certain level where you are fulfilling the promises you made in the first book. And that's what I did when I did this is I wrote my first issue, and then I was like, okay, I want to have an arc here. And I put in all these little elements in the first issue, which and I'm like, I have to have all of these pay off at the end of the arc, right? And so you then come up with the end of the arc. You go, okay, this is how it's going to end, and you go back and you fill in the middle, so it makes a path along the way towards that. And this is how I write. And when you do that, like if you read my 5 volumes of Flying Sparks, and like you'd see this like path from issue 1, you'd feel good about that, because you'd be like, okay, this does track, right?
Yeah, you could follow the through line.
Yeah.
Events.
So it's difficult when you're setting up a completely separate thing without fulfilling the first one, right? And I think that might be what's suffering here. So
yeah,
I don't know. I'm speculating because I haven't read it yet, but
yeah, there was a lot of things set up in the first book that were either dropped or it looks like that they're. Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything, but some of the things in the second book kind of make it seem like the Yaira book is going to handle that storyline, right?
Yeah, and the Yaira thing was probably for me the most bothersome thing out of issue 1. And I think I critiqued that on my review. But the Yaira thing, it felt out of left field in the book, and like she interacts with Isom with as in a like, oh hi, and then she goes back to her own thing, and he goes back to his own thing, and so she was totally just put in there like almost as a cameo, but it was too many pages for a cameo, you know.
Yeah.
So you felt like her story didn't get fulfilled and didn't really track on the Isom story. And of course, she's going off to her own book now, and so that's going to feel a little better on that level. But that's one of my critiques of the book. On the first one was like that felt like a forced advertisement rather than a necessary part of the Isom story, right?
Yeah, and it felt weird. And again, I haven't read the Yaira book obviously because it's not out yet, right? But the way it was written, it felt like he doesn't know what's going to happen in the Yaira book, so it doesn't seem like a natural like, oh, we're going to see what happened before that interaction and then what happens after. Right? It just like
if it came back,
like,
if Yaira showed up and came back or something like that towards the end of the book for some, like that would have fixed that, right? Does she show up in issue 2?
She shows up in her human identity or civilian identity. What do you want to call it? But it's real subtle. He actually did that really well, and I'll commend him for that.
Oh, okay, cool.
Because it is like if you're not paying attention, you'll miss it. There are some subtle things in the books that if you don't pay attention, you're going to miss them. So I'll give him props for that. But overall, I thought it was pretty weak for all the moonwalking on the graves of Marvel and DC writers, all the hype. I don't think it lived up to the hype.
I'll be interested to see how it is when I read it for sure. I was tasked. Bounding Into Comics is asking me to write the top 5 Comicsgate comics as an article for them, and I'm just like, geez, I have a lot of Comicsgate comics.
So it's gonna be Cyberpunk 1, Cyberpunk 2, Cyberpunk 3.
My biggest fear is pissing off somebody who doesn't make the list or whatnot, you know, because this is an ego thing.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Well, just make sure you go. These are the top 5, and then like, what do they call them? Like special mentions. Like all these were really close to making 5, but they just didn't make it.
Oh, do a bunch of that, and then name all the big names that I want to be on their channels for Cloud. Okay, cool.
That's what I would do.
IG Mars says I'm an actual schmuck. Oh wow. Sorry, Liam.
You can't say the things that are happening behind the stage. Come on, that's
in the private I can say whatever I want. I can say whatever I want.
Are you excited for Vito's book?
Yeah, I backed it. Vito's book looks pretty good. It kind of reminds me aesthetically, like reminds me of like Kick Ass back in the day. You remember that book?
Yeah.
And I thought the concept was really cool. I was like, oh, that's a pretty neat concept, you know? So those two things make me happy. So I actually have pretty tremendous faith in Vito just from knowing him and talking with him that he's going to tell a pretty good story.
Well, I got the script. I got to see it. He showed me it. It was a pretty good story. It sounds good. I obviously haven't seen all the art because he hasn't released all of it and he hasn't showed it all. But what I saw was good, and it was an interesting story. I don't agree with his wanting to make it black and white. I think the color looks better.
Oh, he didn't do color? I didn't pay attention to that. Oh, no. Oh, Vito, you're wrong with the super. You shouldn't do a black and white superhero story. What the fuck are you thinking, Vito? That's retarded.
He keeps going back and forth. Like, he'd be like, hey, I'm going to do black and white. And then he's like, but I really like this page that I colored. But I don't want to color all of it. So I think I'm going to go back.
He should color all of it, 100%.
No, I meant personally. Like, he doesn't want to personally.
Oh, he's personally. No, he should hire a colorist because that's way too much of a pain in the ass. Oh, no, this shouldn't be black and white. I'm gonna message him about that because that's retarded.
That's what I think. But so other than that, I mean, What are you up to these days? What are you going to be doing on your channel soon?
On the channel, gosh, I'm not sure. I'm looking. I'm probably going to review Ahsoka tomorrow, or maybe maybe not. It's the U.S. Open finals tomorrow, so I'm probably not going to pay attention or watch Ahsoka. I'm not caught up. Just covering what's going on. Pop culture wise, I guess, as best as I possibly can. And then I don't know. There's nothing really big coming up stream wise. I had the Red Ranger on Thursday, or Wednesday, one of those days. That was cool. The guy from the Power Rangers.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
I was just about to super chat you, and then you ended the stream. I was like,
oh shit! I should have kept the stream open.
John doesn't get my money.
That was fun. I'd like to do more interviews like that. I think I'm a pretty good interviewer. Naturally, it's kind of difficult to get some of the comic people I'd like on, just because the comic industry really is one of like fear mongering everywhere. And so a lot of these even like some of the leftists who talk to me, who are kind of bigger names, like behind the scenes, like if I revealed that they were talking to me, they would just go crazy. Like, I mean, they'd like have to disavow, and it'd be nutty. It's really sad that it's like this. But that's where we're at. And so it is taking a risk to come on my channel, which is really too bad, because like I said, I think I give pretty good interviews, and I have a comic buying audience, and we are pretty fair to people. So it's like, yeah, it's a bummer, but that's how the media is these days.
Yeah, I know what that is. I've had issues with that too, because like I said, I'm a little more right. I'm not crazy SJW, but because I'm not super right, those people tend to avoid me. But also because I'm not super left, those people avoid me. So it's like a very small select group of people that are willing to show up here and have a conversation.
That's how it is. It's very bizarre. I don't know. I'm happy to go wherever people give me the link, so I don't care. But that's a rarity these days.
John is a whore. He will go anywhere. Just
that's right.
Start spamming him links to different fucking chats. He'll be there. So, what were your thoughts on the big heels versus babyface spurg out over Starfield?
I think that was fantastic. Great. I mean, just great performance, and probably the best thing that ever happened to his channel. I'm sure he got a bajillion subs out of it. Is there social? Should we look at a social blade on that? Let's see.
I think he did get some
heel versus babyface. Is it heels with an S?
Heels with an S, yeah.
Let's see what happened this week with him. Load. Okay, let's see how this went. All right, so when did his big deal happen? The 31st?
No, I think it was like 3 or 4 days ago.
No, it was longer than that now. Because let's see, when did I make a video? When did I start farming clout content off this? I did on September 3rd, and so it at least came out September 2nd. So it might actually come out on the 30th, because it was over that Labor Day weekend. So if you look at the stats here, subs wise, let's see, 339, and then Sunday he got look at it, flat, 3,000, 3,000, 2,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. So he gained like 11,000 subs off that. That's crazy.
Potion Sword Run says he started Starfield and he didn't even notice the pronouns. So I think it was overblown. Obviously, it's good for his channel. So fantastic for him on that. But I think it was overblown.
I liked the boobs screaming about Star Wars too. That was great.
Yeah, we played that on the channel too.
Yeah. So no, there's definitely something to it. Like, because I always wonder, like, what does that? And it gets, if you start screaming and all that, you get more attention. So that's the be energetic. So I just think it's bullshit, because it like I said, if he
did that rant and then turned off Starfield. It was like, sorry guys, we're not playing Starfield. We're gonna play something else, and I'm gonna return this shit because I'm so upset over this, obviously, right? But no, he played it, and then he played it for 27 more fucking hours of stream time. So how upset could he really have been?
I used to be of the camp like don't do these things. Don't play the woke games. Don't watch the woke movies. Don't read the woke comics. But the harsh reality of our circles is if I do a review of, say, what I got right here, something that I really like. Let's say if I do a review of this nice indie book called Capote in Kansas right here. And it's something I really like, and I love the art, and I think it's fantastic. I'm going to get like 20 clicks. If I do a review of, let's see. What else do we got?
I think Beefy's died.
Is he dead? DED? If I do a review of...
No, I'm just letting you talk.
Ms. Marvel, like with the Marvels movie coming in, and it's allegedly written by the actress of that shitty Disney Plus show, and I scream at it and I say it's shit the book. I'm gonna get 2,000 views. So as fun as it would be to just do a review of this, and I do still do reviews of these, and I still get that. Like it is beneficial to my channel and to my exposure to highlight this and scream about it and buy the next issue anyway, even though I hate it. And it'll get me more exposure and sell me more books. And that sucks. It really sucks that our culture is this way. But at the end of the day, whatever grows the channel and sells more books to get the actual message out is the way to do it. Right. I mean, it's not hurting anybody by buying Ms. Marvel. Right.
I agree with that. But see, the difference is he wasn't reviewing. Like if he was doing an angry review of Starfield and that was his criticism, I would say, okay, that's his opinion. He went a little crazy, but whatever, right? But he literally was streaming it, stopped, did a 3-minute thereabouts rant about how terrible this was in the game, and it was breaking his immersion and it ruined the game for him. And then he continued to play it for another 27 hours. That's where
but he did it on stream. Like the audience wants to see him play Starfield, though, right?
Yeah, but if
they don't, that's
right?
the topic of the day. Even if he's upset about it, that's where his funds and super chats are coming from. Is playing If he went and played Escape Velocity, which is the greatest space game of all. Are you familiar with Escape Velocity?
I am not.
It's great. It's the greatest space game of all time. Video game. Hold on. Here it is. And 1996 classic. Yes. And so if he goes and plays this game, and with these beautiful look at this. Oh yeah. It's the greatest game of all time. But is anybody going to watch him play this game?
No,
probably not. Right. And so, I mean, there's your answer.
But again, I'm going to push back because it
Look
wasn't.
At that. Oh yes.
Right.
Oh yeah.
It's fantastic looking. His criticism was basically the game has broke his immersion. The game has broke his enjoyment. And so now he's played 27 hours of a game he's just admitted he doesn't enjoy playing. Right? I think that's kind of bullshit. I think that either makes his rant 100% performative and he didn't mean any of the things he said, or he's now tortured himself for 27 hours, right?
Yeah, he's mining more content out of it, and that's it. I mean, just because he doesn't like it doesn't mean he can't mine content out of it. So, yeah. I don't know.
Maybe I'm just of the type of person I don't mind content, even though people have accused me of that as far as Ripperverse goes.
When you get to like 330,000 subs, though, like I mean, that mining content we're talking real money at that point, right? It's it's a job more than it is your personal preference, maybe, right?
Yeah, but I have, I can go out and whore myself for money and probably make a lot more money than I do at work, but I got self-respect. And so I'm like, I guess for me, my self-respect would go, if I really didn't enjoy the game, if that game really pissed me off that much, I would be like, sorry guys, we're not playing Starfield. I know you want me to play it, but the game has pissed me off. right? Could you imagine if you were playing a game, John, and it said, fuck Christians, Christians are the devil, right?
Right.
And it's like, Christians are, and you're like, man, this is bullshit. They shouldn't say this about Christians. And then you just kept playing the game. Wouldn't people be like, well, where's your beliefs? Where's your.
Yeah, I guess I mean, there's a line where I wouldn't be able to do it, right? Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
So.
He made it seem like that was his line, and then he played the game, and that's I'm like, this guy.
That's fair.
But yeah, this game obviously looks fantastic, and I'm gonna.
But I loved the rant. I thought the rant was fantastic. So.
I thought it was fantastic when they juxtaposed it with his rant on people complaining about Hogwarts Legacy.
I never played I don't know. I don't play video games, so.
Well, that's all I do. Play video games and read comic books. It's fantastic. Luster Dog says, so where's the principles? If you're trying to fight woke culture, then why would you advertise and give money to woke culture?
Because I use the woke culture to advertise my book, right? That's the only reason I'm doing it. Because my Ms. Marvel review will get me 2,000 clicks, and then I'll go and buy my book, and I'm going to sell some of my book off of it. So, if you're not monetizing it, then I would say don't. Right? Yeah. But at the end of the day, we are in a culture where people do want to talk about Marvel, about Star Wars, about Star Trek, and just the shit they know. And I actually took a class for marketing and advertising for content creators a few years back. And the first thing they told you was is nobody cares about your content and about you. And the thing that businesses, and that if you're a content creator trying to get attention, trying to make your brand sell and work, then you got to not just sit there, because you've seen a lot of these comic guys and they're just like, oh, my comic book story has been a passion project for the last 15 years. And then they got 2 people watching the channel. Right. Yeah. And it's tough. And you don't want to watch that. You don't care about that. So if I did that, I mean, maybe I'd have 20 people, but that's still nobody caring about it. So you got to talk about what people want to talk about to get them interested and in the door is the main goal. And these are 5-minute videos which is literally just getting them in the door. And it's definitely worth the time to do that. I've seen tremendous explosion in my sales, in my channel revenue, in my following over the last 3 years since I kind of shifted in this attitude. Because I used to totally have this attitude of fuck that, I'm never buying a Marvel book. And that all it did is just not get me clicks. And I should have been doing this and making more clicks sooner so I could sell my books better. It's sad, but it's true.
Yeah, I understand that. I mean,
that's the honesty. Yeah.
We have 11 people here. If I threw on a Ripperverse, if I was like, hey, we're going to talk about Ripperverse, we'd have 30, 40 people.
You would. Yeah. That's why Nerdette's doing that on all of her streams, right? So that's why she's doing it.
But like I said, for me, I can't bring myself to do that. I know that this is what's going to bring in the clicks. I know this is what is.
I totally get it. Yeah.
I just can't. I don't know. Maybe I'm from a different era. Maybe if I was younger, I just didn't care. But I'm set in my ways. I'm an old man. So.
I totally get it. And I think if you're not building a business or if it's a hobby or whatever, does it matter? No, but I want my next book. I want my next Kickstarter book to go bonkers. So it's I need to have the subs to do that because let's be honest, people, look at it. You'll just look at anybody with sub counts and what their books are selling on these crowdfund platforms. And there's a direct correlation, right?
Yeah. So did Vito's book sell better than your book or?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
How does that make you feel? First time comic book writer selling better.
It makes me feel like shit. Because but no, Vito's got a giant platform. Again, I already know how the game works, so I can't complain about it.
You could. You just would sound like a whiny bitch. But...
I'd just sound like a whiny bitch, right? Yeah. I don't want to be a whiny bitch, so yeah. I just backed his book, and I hope it's good. That's all you can do.
That's the toughest thing about doing this or even trying to get an audience, right? You know what sells, you know what people want to see, but there's your personal politics, your integrity.
There's an artistry thing too. Flying Sparks, Flying Sparks here has sold over 5,000 copies for the whole series, right? Which I've been grinding this since 2018 to get that number, right? And I know that having a girl with kind of a ice skater uniform type of thing, it's a very classic 70s or 60s style look, right? For just the design of the character. And then the actual content is very 80 probably late 80s style DC Comics, right? I know that in my audience circles, Rob Liefeld 90s guns and if she had a shirt that went down to her belly button and you could see the side boob, that's what they want. But I also don't feel artistically compelled to do that. Because I really like the Silver Age and Bronze Age sort of storytelling aesthetic. I think there's a little more hopefulness there. I think there's a little more heroism there. And I think the 90s stuff is a little darker and edgier, and it's edgy boy for the sake of edgy boy a lot of the time. So I don't want to do that. So I do make my artistic decisions based on sort of what I want artistically, right? And but even though I know it, yeah.
So if Marvel came to you, Marvel said, "Hey, we're gonna back up a dump truck full of money to buy your characters, put them in the Marvel universe," would you sell?
Yeah, for sure. Why not? And then
we're gonna put Heather Antos on your book on your characters.
That's fantastic, because if they paid me that kind of dump truck of money, then I could just make new characters and write better book, do it again, and then let them fuck theirs up, and then do it. If they hired me to write, I'd do it too. Now, if they hired me to write and they told me, "Hey, I want you to turn Metagirl into a black lesbian trans person," I'd say, "No, I'm not writing that." But that's kind of there's where my moral line is, I guess, right?
Finbar says,
"No, I'm not the artist."
So who's the artist on the book?
The artist on this is Jethro Morales. He works for Dynamite right now, and he's on Sheena, Queen of the Jungle, the old classic character. He's also worked on Green Hornet over there and Deja Thoris of Mars. So he's out there getting mainstream work now. It's pretty cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So we were just winding it down, so we really don't have anything other. We were just going over the weekly polls, and
yeah.
So we're just gonna run back to that.
Fun conversation. Yeah.
I'm gonna clip this out so I can make a little money off of it.
Good.
I'm gonna put Crazy Jon Del Arroz shows up. All hell breaks loose.
You want me to scream at the camera?
Nah.
Okay, I can. Whatever gets you clicks.
Pretty much nothing, but it's fine. All right, so we were talking about the favorite 90s cartoons. 56K Warning said Reboot. As a kid, it was just another banger cartoon. As an adult, it was a love letter to computer nerds. I also agree. Reboot was a good cartoon.
Never saw it.
You were an adult by the time these cartoons came out, John.
Animaniacs, I was a kid.
What was your favorite 90s cartoon?
Animaniacs.
Jay Cut says Spider-Man, the animated series. Extra Hero said Digimon. Started in August 1999, so I'm going to give it to Digital Monsters, squeaking their way to the win at the end. It was all right. Joe
Spider-Man, the animated. Is he talking the 70s or 60s one, or is he talking the 90s one?
The 90s one. This is all
90s one.
Favorite 90s.
Oh, yeah. So Spider-Man was my second. I'd say Animaniacs is first and Spider-Man second. So those are good choices.
I think Gargoyles was the best, with Batman the animated series as second. Super J says Batman was the best, but Tick was my favorite. Jan Ung likes Captain Planet and the Planeteers, but he says X-Men had one of the most iconic themes of all times. Squealer says Beast Wars with Aladdin as a runner-up. George Chirinos, I hope one day I can take a picture of my two towering heroes who both stand as tall as the Empire State Building, Tommy Scamarico and Eric October. One in each of my arms at 6.61 to show their presence and how towering it is. That's a weird comment for a 90s cartoon, George, but I guess you do. Specky says Rocco and Tommy Uemiko. X-Men was so hype. It was like a special event each week, and we taped it. I taped some cartoons back in the day, too. All right. And our last poll was on a scale from 1 bad to 5 awesome. How would you rate the current state of the Geek Community, this channel? We always like to see what the audience thinks of this channel. Overwhelmingly, they think we suck. 33% gave it a 1.
How many people are trolling you intentionally to do that, though?
Probably most. 95 votes. 2 got 7%. 3 right in the middle. 29%. 4 got 14%, and 5 got 17%. I agree. There's always room for improvement. We kind of suck here, but we'll get better. All right. And Finbar says, and our Ask Me Anything for the members, he says, the gods are angry. One of the people in the current chat has to be sacrificed to save the rest of the people in the chat. Tony, the decision has fallen to you. Who are you choosing and why? Well, who's in the current chat right now? You know what? I'm going to make an easy decision, and people are going to say I'm an asshole for this, but Potion Sword Run, you're the one who has to go. Because he's already sick. Potion Sword Run, everyone else I know is healthy. Potion Sword has a bad kidney, so it's like euthanasia at this point, right? Sorry, Primo.
Oof.
But yeah, that's it for this week. That's all we got. Thank you, Beefy, for showing up and talking some comics with us. He was showing off his collection earlier.
Awesome. I missed it.
You did. That's why I said John's in the chat, but I was like, we already talked about comics, and now he shows up in the middle. To see you, it's been swell. My kidney hurts anyway. Poor Potion. Thank you, John, for showing up. I'm sorry. I guess EG couldn't get in. He was trying. He couldn't get in. He couldn't get his.
You're scared of me, EG Mars. You're scared of me, and you're Liam Gray, and that is why you won't come in here and stream like a man.
Yeah, there it is. There's the thumbnail. Got it. All right. Thank you all for watching, as always. Thank you for the super chats from Dorian. I appreciate it. And as always, love, peace, booty grease. We out this bitch.